gosh.
Oh my gosh, listen,
Look at that.
look at these so super cool players. Look at these amazing teams. Grand finals of SendouQ Season 8 finale kicking off here. Saf, what are these whack comps we're looking at?
This is what I was kind of expecting. I do like seeing Rafe on the end zap. I think that is a really fun exchange. I'm enjoying that. Vacca on the red. Look at that. Look at the red. Look at that. Oh my gosh.
It's
Cooler
Goss.
and beacons galore. That is going to be so much fun. That is Goss on those dualies there. Thank you, Goss. For pulling that out for us. That is a fun one. And actually, we have the mini Splatling. Look at that, mini Splatling coming to the forefront in the finals. It's like they put all of these weapons on the back burner until they find themselves in the best of 7 seat, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play vanilla mini. Why not?
Yeah, you know what? What the heck? Sure. Honestly here. But, I mean, it's going pretty well for them. I mean, they've got a bajillion specials online. They just got a huge wipe onto Shy Guy fans here, putting them onto the back foot, trying to lock them out as much as you kind of can here on Urchin. But, oh, the hammer throw. Oh, I was sure they were about to get a pick there. Soldier here holding this front line, getting all of these ledges, being a little bit of a ledge demon, if you will, here. Kyo, though, trying to, oh, and they have the reef slider ready to go here, Saf. I'm sure we're going to see it. Yep, it's going to pop in here, going to be able to cap the zone as well, but they get taken out in the process here. Vacca still has a good fighting chance here. I mean, they have specials ready to go. As I say that, they're all going to explode. So, looking for a little bit of a comeback here from them, but Soldier is behind. What's happening? Why are they over there?
Dude, keep your eyes on Soldier. It was true then, and it's just as true now. It took 2 different people to take Soldier.
I think I saw Zenith.
It took 2 different people to take Soldier out of the fight there. And again, Grace, who's watching the zone? Because that was 3 members of Shy Guy fans going up in that corner to stop Soldier from what they were doing, and 0 friends from Vacca taking the zone yet, and down to the 35 mark for Shy Guy fans. Finally, Vacca is putting something together to kind of try to close it out. But I mean, is it going to be enough? Because Shy Guy fans have been so dominant in the set. And again, taking 2 different members. Look at that. That is Goss and Soldier away from the zone. Taking 2 different people away from objective, and so far away from objective at that.
Yeah, and I mean, they weren't quite able to punish the fact that the members of Vacca were so far away from the zone. They did cap it for a little bit there, but and now it's going to be a 2-down situation here. Noah and Goss are running for their dear lives here, Saf. They are going to be able to maybe make it out of here, going all the way back up to their spawn, which, you know, if you got it, you got it here. But looking at Shy Guy fans, nobody's, again, really had a firm hold on this zone. I mean, it's just kind of a constant back and forth. They're flanking each other for some reason, and then they grab a buddy to help them with the flank. I mean, sure, the members here of Vacca are back in control of the zone. They're putting down these beacons, trying to have more of a forward presence here, but the members of Shy Guy fans are still going to go down 1 member here. So let's see how strong of a hold this zone can be. I like the gameplay of watching. I think it was Goss painting around there, which was very funny.
I know they were just double checking that everything was in its place and then putting down a couple of beacons. So just got to make sure that it's just right. And I appreciate that about Goss. Look at Kyo trying to utilize the reef slider. Let's try to suspend the zone push, but it's not going to be enough. That is lead being taken by Vacca. And now Shy Guy fans are in the back seat. Zenith is going to find a really good pick. They're also going to try to call out Noah here, but then there's a call out from the corner coming against them, a 2v1 that Zenith does not want to be a part of. However, why is Soldier always in the back zone? What is going on? How do they get back there?
I don't know. I mean, okay, I see a little bit of what looks like a slosher kind of shot. You see where Zenith is right now on the map near the trees. But still, always, the name of the game here seems to be the flanks. It goes well for Shy Guy fans when Bursty does it. It went well for Vacca every time that Soldier does it. And I mean, here we see the 2 flankers here fighting in mid. Bursty in this crab, trying to keep Soldier away from them. Back off, protect the president here. The president being Bursty in this crab. But I mean, it does do well for them. They're able to have a firm hold on this zone. Zenith getting taken out, but the strikes, oh, the strikes coming out. I mean, that's just it. That's just one of those things where it just caps it.
Yeah, Soldier's just been exhibiting this type of like rat behavior where they can just break through enemy lines with no sweat, and then they're just consistently behind the enemy line and finding themselves there and taking distraction away from the zone. What I like about Urchin is that Urchin really is the mode, or I guess is the map in this case, where you can really take people away from objective, and you can do it really well because there's so many different nooks and crannies and places to hide that people have to literally change their attention away from what they're doing to come and find you and take you out. And I feel like both teams have been doing so well with that, but I think Shy Guy Fans has just had a little bit more of a leg up with it, and especially here, taking 3 members down at the closing ceremony, that is Shy Guy Fans locking us in for game number 2.
Such a funny game. I feel like Urchin, I understand why folks like it. They may have been arguing in the chat just now about the fact that this was the first game, but I see why folks like it. It's a lot of fun. It enables a lot of fun play styles too. The flanking, the funny hammer throws, especially when the hammers hit something you don't want it to hit. I mean, it feels a hole in my heart for funny map modes, because I feel like zones, a lot of stuff can go. So I like to see some fun picks here. But like you said, Vacca here, they're teed up to make this first counter pick. Maybe I'll be able to predict it and totally not have SendouQ up on my second monitor to see when it pops up here, Saf. But I mean, thinking about what we've seen them do, thinking about what we saw happen in the first round and the other times they were on stream, what do you think is the most likely outcome for Vacca here? Like, what do you think they're going to pick? Possibly Lumeria Hub, if I were to see a vision. Whoa, no.
Oh my gosh, she's psychic. She has a premonition. She's clairvoyant.
I'm so clairvoyant. I can predict any time one of the SOS teams is about to make me very sad as well. I just have a tinge in my heart. I can feel it every time.
How many fingers am I holding up right now?
50.
I don't have that many.
Oh,
biblically accurate. It's like, yes, that's correct.
Yeah. There's like 50 other hands. They're like different people's hands. Biblically accurate is very funny though. But Lumeria Hub, free flow is not here unfortunately. But I know it's devastating. I was hoping that they'd be here today. They will be in Super Jump 6. Not gonna segue to the ad. I promise. But they will be there. We did a little team spotlight for them, so they will be there. But heading into this map, Saf, are you a fan or are you just a free flow fan?
I think I'm just a free flow fan, to be honest.
Okay.
But I am like, you guys can do what you want to do, and I'm here for it. Lumeria Hub is another double zoned map, so opening up, trying to crawl our way into the starting point here. You can see Shy Guy Fans have already made contact with the zone first. Or actually, no, it's not is it a double zone? Yes, it is a double zone. Okay, hold on. I had to wipe my eyes off like they were glasses for a second. I was like, am I seeing this right? Are we under a bridge or something? We are under a bridge, but it is 2 separate zones. It's very Reef style down here. Call back to Splatoon 2, if you will. So Vacca having the strongest opening here first. Already we are seeing Soulja doing the jump out shenanigans that they were born to do, but getting called out immediately. That is a lot of value for Zenith to get up onto the top point and actually take the zone away from Vacca. So Shy Guy Fans are the second, I guess, to really throw back a really strong punch. The tri-strikes are going to come out and force them to have to retreat back, but it's not going to really be much because now we see Zenith has that hammer online and they are going to try to find a target to throw it.
Oof, and I mean, I was going to say, I think this Reef Slider is going to rip open Vacca's defenses here, but Shy Guy Fans, despite getting the zone here, are still, I mean, they're still struggling for a little bit of a holding lasting value here in mid here. Zenith going into a bit of a fist fight here, trying to do something here. Kyo trying to follow up, but they're still going to get taken out here. I mean, the members of Shy Guy Fans, they're on top mid, but they're still having a bit of trouble controlling it. That was a sick, nasty kill, though. I can't even lie.
It was very delayed too. The game was like, did you? Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Okay. Yeah, you're right. And I think even Kyo was like, huh? What do you mean?
And I mean, Kyo going up with the Reef Slider again. I think the name of the game here is that you have to be really, really ready for the Reef Slider. You know what I mean? As opposed to these single splash zone maps, you can kind of just Reef Slider and be like, Reef Slider, and then you just open up so much space. Similarly to how Zenith just, you know, got that huge double there with that hammer. But with this specifically, Kyo has to have people ready to fight for his life, basically, as soon as he pops that Reef Slider into their zone as well here. Bursty, gonna dodge roll back into the Booyah Bomb, which is tragic, and again, here going to be going 2 down. Will the members of Vacca be able to grab the zone, though, because they've been struggling to paint it, it feels like, this entire game.
Yeah, and it seems like they do get like a little bit of zone time, and then it's immediately taken away from Shy Guy fans. Shy Guy fans said that it's my turn to play the Xbox all night long, so they keep on pulling the controller back from little brother Vacca in this situation. But Soulja still is trying to take the fight to them. Zenith getting called out on the side of Vacca. 3 members of Shy Guy fans in the spawn. Grace, if you could you only imagine if the players could also see names like we could? The difference in gameplay that we'd be seeing if they actually knew where people were like we do, I couldn't even imagine. But anyways, the Tri-Strike's coming out. That's going to have to force Kyo forward, and especially with the Wave Breaker there, Kyo's going to have to try to get some movement here and relocate. The lead now being taken by Vacca. The members of Shy Guy fans are a little bit spread out here, and there's a lot more paint that they have to put down if they want to try to stay in this game here. But Rafe is going to have a really successful fight. 2 members of Vacca going down. Shy Guy fans are still holding strong.
Yeah, and I mean, Zenith there ripping through in that corner. It felt like, you know that picture of William Dafoe when he's like looking up? That's kind of how I felt when folks were jumping into Zenith's hammer. The Zenith's hammer coming down it though, which is really funny. But again here, like, the members of Vacca, we've seen them do it before, we've seen them break out here, but they don't have as much time as they did before. And now Shy Guy fans don't have Kyo's Reef Slider to work with here, but the members of Vacca, those strikes are coming out. They're trying to get them off the top mid. They're almost able to cap their zone. Zenith's going to go down as well here, and Shy Guy fans haven't been able to get a pick thus far. I think a pick here, 2 picks, make that 2 picks here. Soulja here having to drop into the zone, getting picked out as well. Effectively a 3 down, and I think this is going to be a lead swap here, unless they can make something happen here with this cooler. Bursty trying to make something happen. It's a lot. They're fighting in the zone. They're fist fighting. It'd be super cool if we had a Reef Slider right now, Kyo. That would be so crazy, but I don't think so here. Saf, I mean, one member is going to go down here on Vacca. The hammer's coming out here, back in the corner, in the William Dafoe corner, and Soulja's going to take out Zenith. But still, Saf, the lead is going to go back to Shy Guy fans' favor. I mean, they're going to have to try to lock them out here to get this lead back because their penalty is so large.
I was going to say Zenith is going to come back into this game and take Soulja out from behind, but I can't prove it yet. I know it's going to happen, but I can't prove it yet. And it just did right there. It kind of went down in a trade scenario. Shy Guy fans up by 8 points here as we enter the last 15 seconds of the match, and Cooler is online. We are juiced up here, Grace. We have to just try to take the zone out of possession of Vacca. However, that's going to get really scary here if they start eliminating that penalty, which they do. The control now being lost. However, all I'm seeing is Vacca in the zone area here, and 2 members of Shy Guy fans, and the lead being lost. It is an even 1-to-1 split for Vacca, taking us to game 3.
Oh, that was... Oh, it hurt my heart, Saf. I mean, that was so tough. I feel like... I mean, Bursty, I love you so much. I think popping the crab there, I don't think they were going to be able to take the zone from that. But that is so
and
tough.
The crab wasn't scary enough either. It didn't provide enough of a fear factor to push the members of Vacca away. They knew, they were like, we have a few seconds, just hold the line.
Yeah. And I mean, especially because like your backline is up, they're going to be supporting you, painting the zone with you. And I think as soon as they saw that crab popped, they were like, oh, we just paint the zone. And then that's what they did.
1000%. Hagglefish Market on the counter picking for Shy Guy fans. I think this is a good counter pick. This is a really good counter pick, I think. And especially because this gives a lot of advantage to Bursty for using the high ground with the crab tank, which I think is kind of something that was lacking in Lumeria Hub. We didn't really have too much high ground to take advantage of. You have some high ground points in Lumeria Hub, but they're not a good angle. And especially for crab tank, it's not an advantageous spot, and you can't really shift the crab tank from side to side either and strafe like how you would want to normally. So having a little more openness here on Hagglefish zones, I think is great. Also, the Reef Slider is going to find a lot more advantage here as well. Not that it didn't on Lumeria, but I still think it's going to hold strong here too. However, we got to see, I believe, we saw Soulja like dominate pretty heavily on this map. They would get really close and then jump out, get really close and then jump out. So I'd imagine similar story is going to happen here as well. Be mindful of where Soulja is going to be.
Yeah, and with that as well, we just saw them do that kind of a strategy earlier. So I wouldn't be surprised if their opponents were watching them and they were like, I wonder what they're gonna do here. Soulja here though, being able to take advantage of I was gonna say Zenith there, almost a bit of a hero play there with the hammer, which I feel like we've been seeing a lot of, but not quite able to clutch it up here. But the members of Vacca have a good hold of the zone. Again, they're not overextending here, Saf, which we see so often. They have two specials at their disposal, they're coolered up. They managed to get two members of Shy Guy fans down. Zenith here, they're marked, running away for dear life. Can she get out of it? Oh, the hammer can't even save her. Very, very unfortunate here. And I mean, again, Vacca, very strong hold of the zone still. And the members of Shy Guy fans used a lot of resources to try to get them out. And the Reef Slider might be their last chance at getting the zone. And it does. It flips the zone immediately, despite being two down. I mean, Shy Guy fans are able to stay in this game.
Dude, I'm absolutely eating my words with spoon and fork right now because Vacca, that last play, Grace, they not only used their tri-strikes to push Shy Guy. First of all, they wiped Shy Guy fans, and then when Shy Guy fans came out of the zone to take it back, they used their tri-strikes to push them forward into the jaws of danger and took them out again. And Soulja's actually just going to add insult to injury and take Bursty and Zenith out altogether. Shy Guy fans have not had anything together this entire round, Grace. It has been Vacca through and through.
Yeah, I mean, the only way that they were even able to get back into the zone there was the Reef Slider. I was about to say, but then they swarmed Kyo to take away that win condition. And I mean, Bursty here, rolling around in the zone, going to be able to get a lot of huge picks with that crab. Again, the coordination, being able to follow up off of Bursty is going to let them stay into this game once again here. But they're pushing up really far here, Saf. This is the most pushing up we've seen on a lockout kind of thing in Haggle the entire tourney, it feels like. Zenith not able to pop their hammer, I think kind of getting punished for that aggression there and not make that two down on the side of Shy Guy fans. They are going to trade out one. Soulja is down, but they're getting sniped. I mean, they're dropping here, trying to make something happen. The Booyah, they're jumping to each other. It's a lot happening. Are they going to be able to flip the zone with the Booyah? And the strikes? Probably, yeah.
Dude, Shy Guy fans owe Bursty some lunch. I'm telling you right now, Bursty opened that up for them, and Bursty is the reason that they are staying in this game right now, Grace. And the reason that their fight is still continuing, and actually that they are putting up enough of a fight, taking control back in their possession, and opting to actually try to beat them in this round, which could actually happen. I think Bursty really lit the fire under their butts to try to change the narrative, because all of them were pushed up onto the zone, or onto the spawning point of Vacca, and they're still trying to continue to do it again, but Vacca just has enough firepower in their arsenal to fight back. The tri-strikes and the Booyah are going to take zone out of possession and back into their control. The Reef Slider could not quite contend with it, but there's still just enough paint for Shy Guy fans to take the fight to them as well. So the team fight now putting us into the possession here of, we need Shy Guy fans to take the zone back into possession. We need them to win the team fight here to continue the game forward as we enter the last minute.
No, and exactly. And I mean, with the amount of times that they've been canceling Zenith's hammers, it feels like it's going to be really hard for Shy Guy fans to maintain some kind of a hold here. Like you said, going to this last minute. Oh, hello, the jumping into the spawn camping a little bit here, but they're like, okay, hold on, no, we gotta pull it back in. We gotta pull back the reins a little bit here. I mean, especially with the Booyah bomb, that's going to be able to a huge tool to funnel in the members of Shy Guy fans. Sure, Soulja just went down, but I mean, hopefully they'll be able to jump back in soon, perhaps. But here, the members of Shy Guy fans, they're not quite able to get the zone in time. It was really close, especially with that Reef Slider. But Vacca, I mean, a really tough game. I thought the Reef Slider was going to do it for them, but Vacca coming out victorious once again here, making it a 2-1 so far in this set, and therefore putting Shy Guy fans in the hot seat for a counter pick.
I think it feels like we've just been playing past the baton with this one. It feels like a game of badminton. I'm just going to throw it right back to you, and then you're going to pitch it right back to me. So like we said, that is Shy Guy fans now in the counter-picking scenario. Oh my gosh, Vacca is giving them the fight of their lives, Grace. The fight of their lives.
It's just like we saw in groups. Like, I feel like they're very evenly matched. Like, they're matching each other's aggression very well. I mean, I think if I were to say anything about where Shy Guy fans went a little bit wrong in their offense there. I think it was just pushing up too far. Like, I think Zenith was like, nah, I'd win. And normally I would agree with her, but I think running into their spawn especially is really, really hard to go up against, especially when they've been so on it with canceling Zenith's hammers. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they were like, we need to use them in a different way. Maybe there's some kind of way for us to like pivot to where they're more effective here, because I think Vacca is very in tune with them, and that's what's stopping a lot of that outward pressure, because when you pick off the hammer, you're picking off a whole special that didn't even get to be used, didn't get any value, and you're picking off one of the players that's going to pressure and help the other members get value and be able to follow up off of each other too. So, you know, it's tough when you're playing very aggressive, because you need to value your life too. And I think Vacca is very, like I said, very in tune to that too.
Well, it seems like Booyah Bomb has been kind of tough, I think, for Shy Guy fans, because there is more zone recapping tools in the pockets of Vacca right now, because they have the Tri-Strikes and a Booyah Bomb, so they just have more explosive power and more like just quick zone cap power. The Reef Slider can do that, but just I don't think it to the same extent when you have two tools at your disposal that can like stack on each other really well. So I'm wondering with Humpback Rainmaker, that's like where I want to be. Humpback zones, you have a very large center zone and you have kind of a trench surrounding it. I'm wondering if Kill wants to stay with Reef Slider here. Because it seems to me if you don't time it correctly, you don't really have a lot of space in the zone to work with using Reef Slider here. You have to it has to be like a shorter burst type of thing versus like the long haul, like road trip style. So I'm thinking there could be some kind of change. I wonder if maybe Tri-Strikes instead would be better here. And it seems like Tri-Strikes have been like tough for Shy Guy, like again, like the zone recapping power that Vacca has, it's been hard for Shy Guy fans to go toe-to-toe with, because Shy Guy fans has kind of just been relying on their paint output more, I think, than using special to recap. But as I say it, there's actually going to be no changes here, so everybody's still playing the same thing. Pretty sure gear is actually staying the same for everybody as well. So gonna be rocking with the same thing. Kill's gonna just have to play it really carefully with these Reef Sliders. You have to drive carefully. You don't want to get caught on a lip, because there's a lot of lips to get caught on.
It's so true. I was gonna say, like, it feels like a really tough Reef Slider map in general. Hello, Noah here, the flanking E-leader, getting so much pressure here onto their plat. I mean, we saw Bursty get picked off there in the beginning, which is a really, really good pick for Vacca to be able to have a good, firm hold of the zone here. But we see them taking advantage of all the different angles, trying to make something happen. I mean, they're throwing Booyah Bombs. They just put down a Wave Breaker on their plat, and that goes to be a 3-down situation for Shy Guy fans already here. And it feels like, I mean, the hammer's ready to go for Zenith, so maybe they'll be able to stamp their way in. But again, the awkwardness of Humpback, it can be tough to secure kills with like a lot of specials.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a very classic like FT win type of story, where we see that they're kind of having a hard time in the meat and potatoes part of the set, but then once we find our way to the second half of the set is kind of when Shy Guy fans, the folks of Shy Guy fans tend to really shine. But right now, Vacca wanting to take us into almost match point here. They want to take us into match point with 15 seconds left to go. Shy Guy fans have been nowhere to be found on the zone, Grace, until this moment. Finally, Shy Guy fans like trying to break in here and taking the zone into possession. 3.5 minutes left to go, and finally Shy Guy fans are here.
I want to unpack what happened there a little bit, Saf. So what I saw was that Noah on that E-leader held firm, held strong, and stayed in the Shy Guy fans' plat. So when two of their teammates went down on the side of Vacca, they just they let their deceased teammates then jump into them. So Noah, holding the plat, had a bunch of jumps, and then they collapsed back in on Shy Guy fans who were trying to capture the zone from the sides and from their own spawn. It was so fascinating. I was sitting there and I was like, write that down. Like, that was really nicely done. And I mean, it didn't quite secure them the win quite yet, but still, it just goes to show that I mean, really good showing from them already. And I mean, we can already see that they wanna kind of get back onto this, get back onto their plat again, but no, they don't want to let them in.
Yeah, Zenith is trying to play security guard with the juice machine there, and two members kind of getting delayed on Vacca from getting any sort of juice. However, not going to be enough to prevent them from taking the zone back. Now having zone back in possession, a single-digit mark with their unit points remaining. However, a mountain to climb of a penalty with 51 points entering the last 2 minutes of the game here. Reef Slider is online. We could take it out. However, the bullets from Bursty are going to actually be enough to maintain it, and Crab Tank is going to be popped too. That's two members of Vacca getting called out into the corner. Suction Bomb is going to come out and try to cover up the zone, but it's not going to help too much. Booyah Bomb from Reiki is going to help it clean up too, and actually going to be just enough to cover it up, but with two members down on Vacca. Shy Guy fans are going to actually infiltrate back into the zone. This is now just kind of, this is the badminton match I'm talking about. This has kind of been the back and forth. However, Vacca has kind of had the most dominating showing so far.
Yeah, and I mean, every time Shy Guy fans try to get onto the plat, I feel like they just get punished for it. Like, I think we're gonna see a pretty cool hammer come out from Zenith here, possibly to try to rip through the defenses near this cooler as well. But the members of Vacca dropped. They dropped as soon as they saw Zenith, and they were like, I don't know, let's just leave and then see what happens. And that ends up getting Zenith taken out. A really, really smart counterplay from Vacca there. Again, I feel like they just always know what to do against the hammer.
Yeah, and I think Reiki kind of taking a dance into the zone here. Rafe is kind of trying to take them out of there and just throwing paint down, but also very much calling out their position. Kill also wants to try to help out in the fight on the side there too, and actually forcing them out of the zone. But Kyo having a little damage themselves. Soulja's going to assist in that fight. Again, watch out where Soulja's going to be. You have to be careful. They are going to try to come in on the flank, and they can be so sneaky. And just like how Kyo can, Soulja has also kind of mastered the flicking mechanic that the bucket can have, where you can kind of like flick it into an arch shape of some kind. And I think that Kyo is kind of toe-to-toe with another master of that same type of technique here, as Vacca still is maintaining such a good fight and holding on to zone. They haven't moved from that 7-point mark, but they've consistently taken zone out of possession of Shy Guy fans.
Yeah, and I mean, once again, the tit for tat, the badminton, if you will, maybe pickleball. I don't know, pickleball kind of scares me here. The back and forth is, I mean, it's a lot. This entire game we've been seeing it. This one especially here. Zenith here holding their hammer, trying to throw it. Not quite. Oh, wait, they did get Soulja here, but the Booyah Bomb's going to come out, trying to cap this zone. Oh, no, but they weren't able to contest it. They were just too far back, and they were, like, behind stuff. The members of Vacca, despite being down Soulja, able to retake that zone thanks to all their specials, their coordination. They, like, attacked the zone at the exact same time, so that the second Shy Guy fans stepped away, so that because they had to give the zone a little bit of space, or else they would have just gone down, right? Yeah. The second they stepped back, they punished them for it, and they just took the zone right out from under them.
So, folks, this is an interesting spot to be in. You might want to tell your friends and your family, because Shy Guy fans has to reverse sweep in order to take it out in this set here. Vacca's looking at the match point here. They're looking at victory. They're staring down the prize pool right now. They actually danced through the security beams of the high class security facility. They've danced through security beams. They are literally looking at the glass case of the prize pool. They're looking at it right now, the folks of Vacca. Shy Guy fans are still outside of the building trying to get their key cards to work. So they might
be asking what building it is, Saf. It is.
And you might be asking, yeah, you might be asking what building that could be. And it happens to be Mako Mart. Vacca happens to be the platinum golden membership holders of shoppers here in Mako Mart. And it seems to me that the shopper cards of Shy Guy fans might not be working. They're getting rejected at the door.
Yeah.
So what do we do about that? What do we do about that?
Listen,
if you're Shy Guy fans, what do we do?
I am an enjoyer of Sam's Club, so this has happened to me many a time. I think you need to get one of those massive big carts, because you know they have huge carts at like Costco, Sam's Club, that type.
Totally.
And you need to plow it through the members of Vacca and plow through their defenses here, Saf. Because, I mean, it's going tit for tat, at the end of the day, the leader can punish your pen when it comes down to it. Soulja is punishing Kyo when it comes down to it. I mean, these matchups are really, really what this whole thing hinges upon. So Shy Guy fans, Kyo getting taken out by Soulja literally in the first like 15 seconds here, Saf, as I was talking about it. Zenith as well getting punished for running up and trying to do some kind of an aggressive play there as well. Now Shy Guy fans once again on the back foot, and I mean the points are ticking down, the pressure is on. Like we've said, this is match point. So if Vacca wins this, they take home the gold.
Yeah, Vacca are the ones that are being there for the early bird deals in Mako Mart right now and taking full advantage of that. However, Shy Guy fans, finally, they have their coupons out of their pockets and they're putting them at the register, finally cashing in on those coupons and deals. Within the first minute, too, thank goodness, finding points on the board for Shy Guy fans. However, a short-lived push as 3 members go down into the soft wipe scenario. That is Vacca changing the tide on the savings and deals this week at Mako Mart. Their coupons might just be a little bit better, but also they kind of have a little bit of savings deal. The press to tap is working a lot better for Vacca in this scenario.
It really is. And I mean, you know, I'm just thinking about my wonderful times in Sam's Club as well here, but Kyo is like, wouldn't it be so crazy if I just got 5 Costco hot dogs? And by 5 Costco hot dogs, I mean capping the zone solo with my Reef Slider while my teammates aren't quite up there yet. But now Noah is public enemy number 1. They need to get Noah off of this plat. The pressure you have as a leader, oh, and they get the jump out. I mean, that's going to be rough here, kind of coming back from Shy Guy fans, because getting that leader would have given them a lot more room to work with here on this kind of a lockout situation. Once again, not seeing them push up super far in because they want to play it a little more safe, which I respect and think is the right play here, because they get 2 members down here. Zenith is in their walls, in the walls of this Sam's Club, behind the massive boxes and the millions of hot dogs that Kyo has been stealing. They are going to keep this zone here, Saf, very convincingly.
Yeah, Bursty really had to be careful there in the seafood aisle. They got called out in the crab tank and actually taken out of it in the air. They were kind of thrown into the air like the Pike Place Market fish here in Seattle, and kind of brought back down into squid form. So crab tank came to full fruition, found a little bit of value, and Bursty was able to make it out alive. But now the team fight taking us back into the zone here. That is Vacca capping the zone once again. Booyah bomb to add a little insult to injury down to the jump where Zenith was landing. Unfortunate landing spot for Zenith. Bursty also being called out and pushed back here. Vacca has a very strong control of the store and actually pushing Zenith out of the aisles as well and out of the produce section into the freezer section. Unfortunate timing for Zenith too. Vacca is looking so powerful here. A brief cap from Shy Guy fans, and hopefully a maintenance cap at the same time.
Ooh, Kyo still being able to clutch it up. The Reef Sliders. I mean, if you are on Mako especially, you just always need that dread to be down. I mean, there's just no other way to be able to make sure that the zone is in safe hands here. The Booyah bombs coming out, the strikes coming out as well. They're so good at comboing those, Saf. It feels like every time the zone, I mean, is even in threat of those specials, it just goes right down here. But speaking of going right down here, Shy Guy fans retaking this lead, but they are 2 down here. Kyo, though, with this Reef Slider, are they going to be able to make anything happen off of it? Going to be able to get some jumps in as well, but the strikes are coming out here. Oh, wait, but they just going right through past the strikes, but it doesn't cap the zone in their favor quite yet here. Being 2 down here, Shy Guy fans getting wiped completely here, Saf. They have a minute to make something happen, or, I mean, that's it. That's the entire tourney.
Yeah, and I think Kyo got a little overzealous with the Reef Slider there. You could tell what they were thinking, but it looks like maybe the grocery store, it seems like the grocery store ran out of the proper spices and the cedar plank that he was looking for the fish, because Vacca actually bought them out and forcing them into the wipeout situation. There's only one part of the pack of Shy Guy fans left. They are sold out now. That's Vacca entering the single-digit points with just a few seconds left to go. Shy Guy fans gotta do something, but they're nowhere to be seen. That's Vacca, 4 games in a row. They are your SendouQ Season 8 champions.
The Reef Slider got canceled, I think, Saf. I swear I saw it form. Kyo ate all the hot dogs. I'm kidding. Kyo's probably gonna hate me after this. No, but that, they out-cheesed the Reef Slider cheese, and for that, Vacca, I have to give it up to you.
Yeah, clean up on aisle, Shy Guy fans. An unfortunate downfall for them. And Grace, you were talking about run it back. Boy, howdy, did Vacca run it back. You guys, if you go into the bracket and you go back and look at the group stage, Vacca and Shy Guy fans fought earlier, and it ended in a 3-2 with Shy Guy fans being